What if I told you one of the fan takes relates to Falcons, and maybe it's going to be within your wheelhouse? Are you ready? So this fan take is from the Oneric Fry, and he says, Falcons will not be top 5 even after m0NESY joins. With m0NESY still not reaching his full stride this year, Nico's more inconsistent form, choking Tessus, confused Magisk, average Kixen, and the sheer calamity of the Falcons org as a whole, even this team will flounder. They will be floating around 6th to 9th still, with only marginal improvements. And then, because he already knows he's on a Casaggio, he's already given his actual teams above him. He's given Vitality, Spirit, Mouse, Na'Vi, and Aurora will all be better than them. So what do you think of this? This is a pretty bold take. He's even saying, obviously he did do this take, I will say, before the fucking win of this tournament. His take is that even with m0NESY, they won't be top 5. What do you think? This is the ultimate hate take. Guys, what do you think? Where we're going on this?
He's not far off. He's not far off.
He's been co-signed by Cassad immediately. Okay.
I feel like with m0NESY, they're a top 4 team pretty much for sure. I don't really see... What? I don't know. I don't know, like, why you're...
We're going to learn that m0NESY isn't good at CS either. I'm just ready at this point in time. Everyone talks...
I feel like when you get... I mean, in my humble opinion, when you get the best opper in the world, arguably, top 2...
Well, we have to do that Norman Rockwell pitting. I think m0NESY's actually good at CS Cassad. Like,
yeah, I know. And arguably, you have a top 2 rifler in the world in Nico... and a totally serviceable IGL and Kixan. Like I'd say Kixan for me, if I'm just being even like modest, he's a top 7 IGL. Okay, that's even modest. He might even be Then you have Magisk and Tessus, who are great complementary pieces. Maybe Tessus isn't the best big stage player. Maybe Magisk doesn't always have it in terms of mechanics versus like the Zoomers. But like, I don't see how they're not an S. Like not S tier, but like an A tier team. Yeah, they're an A tier team. I don't know. Like, I think that they're going to be better than Aurora. I think that they're basically just fighting to see if they can break into that upper echelon with Vitality, Spirit, and Mouse now. That's just my take on them. I don't see how they don't just pass everybody else. They're passing G2 now. They're passing. I mean, they're better than FaZe for sure. They already were better than FaZe with Dexter, and now the question is kind of like, are they going to be up there with Aurora and Na'Vi? Right beneath the 3 teams that we think are the best.
Come on, Cassad.
I don't know. You just said like having m0NESY just instantly puts you in top 4.
Yeah, instant.
Yes.
For me, that's nonsense.
It's like when you got Rops for Olaf Meister on FaZe. Like, yeah, you instantly become a contender. I feel like
Rops for Olaf Meister. Ah, yeah, that was the one. Yeah. Okay.
The one that made them suddenly the best team, basically. You know,
yeah, but look at the pieces, like the pieces that FaZe had that one, and in that trade, like the rest of the pieces, Kerrigan as an IGL, who was the top 1 IGL at the time, right? You can say it maybe Glay, I don't know if that was the same year, but he was definitely top 2 at the time, yeah, Maui?
At the time, as an IGL? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Kerrigan was already a great IGL then.
No, yeah, but he was like at that moment when he joined, right? You said that Robs put them instead of all of the he placed them into like a contender type of a thing, right?
The other IGLs at the time were like Apex, Nafany,
Carrigan
was an IGL, right? Boomich. Yeah, Boomich was an IGL.
Carrigan was in Heroic.
Apex.
Boomich was there. He was
Yeah,
he said it.
He
said it. Yes. The thing is, like, when you look at the rest of the pieces and compare them to today's pieces in Falcons, it's not even remotely close. Carrigan and Kixen, you comparing them, like, right, that is
obviously
night
not.
And day, right? But look at the rest of the Rain at the time against who? Tessus? Who is better? Fucking Rain 10 times. 10 fucking times. Who else was there?
He wants to say so badly. He's so scared.
I mean, they had Twist. They had Twist.
Yeah. Don't even mention, like, forget about everybody else then. Like the pieces are what's the problem here, right? And this is I was going to make this my hot take, but we can just add to the fans one, right? I was going to say that m0NESY had a brighter future in G2 rather than he does in Falcons.
What a mad take, I know.
That's crazy. Okay, I love this take.
Spin into it and give us this take. This take might be complete ass, but come on, hit me with it. Come on.
Outside of the, the IGL, which is obviously a massive problem in G2.
Yeah, do you make up with Pekka over the weekend or something? What's going on? Like,
No.
So
Listen. But he has a better like rest of the players outside of again Nico, who is on the other side, right? The Falcons. When you compare Malps to what Tessus, who's better? Or Heavy God, Tessus. Who's better? Who has a better future? Who has a better future in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. Some of the pieces.
Okay,
I mean, I would take.
Next, but let me speak. Then the Heavy God against the fucking. Who else is there?
Magisk. Yeah.
Who has a better future? Who is a better player right now? Heavy God at least twice.
Why is he trying to take over this show?
Like,
you know that thing in Oppenheimer, Bowie, where like Robert Downey Jr.'s character's running those like fucking hearings or whatever. Why is he taking over this shit like that? Like, I'm said your piece. I'm making my points now.
Well, because he's interrupted me. I want to make my point.
Okay, all right.
You have those two pieces, right? They have a brighter future than any of those two in Falcons. You have Nico, who is 28 right now. He's not gonna go far with like a top 10 player, that's for sure. He's not gonna go for a long time. He will maybe a year or two. I said year in one of the previous shows, but probably 2. And then if you change that IGL in G2 and put whoever, Hunter and you get an IGL, which team is gonna be like better composed? Which team is gonna have better pieces and more, structure and cohesion and whatever the future? Falcons or G2? Immediately, you can say the G2 is better, but the Falcons are better. But in a space of 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years.
Okay.
You see what I'm getting at, right?
No, I think it's
future-wise.
Trash. I think you even just did a thing where you were like, if you just take out their ideas, no, we're just doing fantasy moves that haven't even, we're doing moves, Maui, that G2 themselves haven't even considered, or maybe don't even want to do. But he's like, and the next thing you know, you take out Snacks, yada yada yada.
You don't take out
next thing you know, Carrigan's saying, then what do you know? Oh, fucking hell.
No. I didn't say you make moves. I just said about the IGL.
Okay.
I just said.
So wait a minute. So an essential part of your argument was that if m0NESY stays in G2 without Nico, and then fucking Hunter takes over as IGL, something, that's a really good team to be.
There's no something.
I don't even get it, mate. Because I'm with Maui. I think m0NESY literally puts the Falcons jersey on, and the second it touches his body, like fucking Jesus or something, being touched by a leper, the whole thing's transformed, and they're like the 4th best team in CS, mate. I think they'll just immediately like go. It's why that's one thing. We did this last episode as well, Maui. Of all the takes, I can't believe he still's like a skeptic of the idea that like Nico and m0NESY are just going to like ball out playing together. Like that's the one thing I'm almost certain of, Kassad. Like the rest of it, I'm with you. I don't know how Kingston's going to handle it, or what will Sonic do with these two players, or what will happen to Tessus as well. But I don't really give a fuck, mate. I'm pretty sure Nico and m0NESY are just going to click mouse 1 on a lot of opponents. It's going to be dope to watch, mate. I don't know how else the rest of it works, but I can't wait. And I'm with you, by the way. I actually agree the top end of CS after Vitality and Spirit is pretty weak. But that's why it's primed for people like Falcons to just go crazy. It's why actually, by the way, when they get their shit together, I even expect Team Liquid to be really good. Like, mate, you've got the rosters to do it. Like, these teams can fuck around and be top 5 immediately, surely. You don't think so, Kassad? What's holding them back?
I don't know. Top 5, they could be 4, 5, 6. Top 3 is the problem.
Like, didn't you find this G2 a bomber, mate?
Constantly.
Like, was this one not a bomber? Was this G2 not a bomber to you, mate? Like, I never thought this G2 could win this tournament even when they were in the final, mate. They were so lackluster.
With Snacks, probably 0 chance. But the thing is, like, if somebody was there instead of Snacks, I think they would have a reasonably good chance to make it a 50-50 at least, because this game wasn't even 50-50. It was the.
Do you have a theory, Kassad? You can do it as pure speculation. Do you have a theory as to why no big players seem to want to join G2? Why does it not happen? Why do people just leave and then not join? Do you have a theory?
The thing is, like, maybe in the last 12 months, nobody of the big names would want to join because they don't know what's the future for the rest of the team. If I'm the player with a fucking big future ahead of me, full talent, and I don't know if m0NESY is going to stay or leave, and the org doesn't know, why would I join, right? When there is so many better opportunities there for me as a player. Now, maybe it's the budget thing. You know that G2 is fucking, constantly whining about money, but they keep getting money, but it's like, maybe it's that. Maybe, when you look at the core of the team, you have Malmstown, Hunter, and Heavy God. That's good enough for any player to join with those 3.
In theory, yeah.
Yeah, especially from the lesser teams. You don't have to bring a player from Vitality, right? You don't have to bring a player from, Liquid, FaZe, whatever, these big big orgs. You can bring a player from, Nemiga or teams like that have those like talented players. Everybody would join. Everybody would join 100%. And it's about about G2 now. What are they going to do? They brought in Hades for the loan until June, that we saw the news today and everything, but we already kind of knew. That's a valid move to just loan someone to kind of make a plan for the next season, because they kind of write this one off. But overall, m0NESY joining Falcons will definitely improve them. Yeah.
Are you going to agree with this guy then that won't be top 5? That was his main take, that they won't be top 5 with m0NESY.
Fuck, it's hard to say outside of top 5. The thing is, like, because you said it yourself, now it's Vitality, Spirit, right? And there is everybody else.
And Mouse, maybe put Mouse in there too.
Maybe Mouse. Let's say maybe Mouse,
let's just
right?
do all 3.
Because they did play good events with teams like Spirit and Vitality in them. So let's say top 3 there, but we're not sure yet. And you have Aurora, and you have it. What do you call them? Mongols,
Na'Vi,
and FaZe, who are Na'Vi, who can still lose to anyone.
Yeah,
that's why you cannot make them like as a good. And you can put their Falcons. I'm not against.
Right. Okay.
I just don't see them as a contenders, and I definitely am gonna talk shit to them simply because the amount of oil money they spent into this project. If they spent like 300, 400K up to $1 million, then I would say, yeah, fair enough. They are finding their way. They're not overspending. They are looking for their place, solidifying structure, like everything inside the org. And maybe over time, like some other teams in football, they will, accelerate to being contenders because they have unlimited money, which is, you can name so many examples. I told you the Manchester City one. The first season, they were third, they were this, they spent more money, and they start winning, and they won 6 titles in a row, and finally the Champions League. If that's the case, if that happens after this move for Falcons, respect. That's it, right? But still leaves you with 5 billions at least wasted.
Okay.
Now, the thing with m0NESY, we'll see how it goes. But yeah. I have another take.
I'll just say, just very quickly, because I didn't really give my take. I've sort of echoed Maui's take. I actually just think that the roster will work pretty much immediately. I also think, by the way, technically he means this exact roster, but as I've said for the last year or so, to me, the real story was when I heard last year that it's definitely happened that NiKo comes again. As soon as NiKo came, I didn't know m0NESY would join this quickly. I thought it'd probably be a different talent. But in my opinion, someone like NiKo was a magnet to join. Then you add in, you can pay the most money. It was just inevitable people will join this team. That's why I said it's like the Real Madrid factor. They'll just eventually be a top team. And with you, Lucas, the question is just how long will it take them to get there? That's true.
Let me ask you this. Maybe this is a fair question. And I think you'll appreciate it. Do you think that m0NESY joining instead of Dexter will resolve every other problem that was obviously in that team? Do you think his sheer presence... So those problems will be there, right? They will be there. And they are not being fixed for the last, 10 months, 8 months, 7 months, whatever, 16 months, even this only 2025. Do you think m0NESY joining will just be immediate, blank page starting to you don't have to fix anything?
No, but you will just win more games, won't you?
He's a huge band-aid.
Yeah, winning games helps.
Like one of the G2's T-side rating looks probably 15% better because m0NESY's winning 2 clutches per half. So even if they have a bad structure, but all 4 members of G2 run in and m0NESY gets to go last, then...
Bro, m0NESY even does the actual 2018 simple thing where he does on the force buy, he buys the scout and actually just gets 2 scout headshots. And you're like, how is this even allowed? That's the shit where I think it's just so
also,
impossible.
Let me add one more thing that I just remembered. Do you remember the best times of G2?
Sure.
When they won Katowice, Cologne, and the Banana Cups and everything?
With Hooksy.
Yes. Do you remember how they played? It wasn't just NiKo and m0NESY running around the server killing everybody. It was both Hunter and JKS on their top fucking performance, which lead them to events. You said it billions of times, Duncan. Now they have NiKo and m0NESY. The other 2 pieces, do they need to be better than Hunter and JKS? Equally good, or they can just coast with whatever they were doing right now, and they will still be able to win Katowice or Cologne? There's the question of that. We just forget that. There is a valid point to think about that as well.
Sure.
Hunter played out his mind in the stage games.
Yeah, true.
JKS had great games in the things. They had obviously the anchor which is called Hooksy. Also, let me talk about Hooksy as well. Like, not just him, but the interview that m0NESY said, Hooksy is the best IGL that I ever worked with. That's additional pressure for fucking Kixen. If I'm Kixen, like, what the fuck? What do I think now? What do I do now? And also, you don't need to take that seriously because m0NESY really only worked with 2 IGLs in his fucking life. That was like Peer, I think, from
no, Alexi
now
B.
Fnatic.
Alexi B, Snacks, Hooksy are like the 3.
He means whoever was in the academy squad or whatever he means.
Yeah.
I would just say, if I was Alexi B, I'd do like some Thorin shit and screenshot that and have that on my mirror. Like, what up now, bitch? I won a major. What the fuck have you won with m0NESY, you little rat? Fuck up my face. You're the fucking second best opera I've played with from Eastern Europe in the last few years. There you go. How you like that, bitch? I'd do that shit. Yeah, come on, Lexi, talk your shit, son. You're a major winner, son. Get it out there. Major winner.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I think
someone hit him
love
up.
it. But yeah, overall, it's too many factors for them to just be so I just lightly can say like, listen, they're instantly top 4. No. There is too many things. I can't just say it.
Okay.
So maybe that guy was right.
I like the way Maui has set up that thing about how I'm only going to pick ridiculous takes, and Kazad's already agreed with the second take ever mentioned.
Yeah.
And he actually thinks that guy's more on point than we are. So in some ways, I hope you enjoyed that. Whatever the oneric fry or whatever. Like, there you go. You won Kazad's heart, but only that. Right, okay.
The thing is, like, he was actually thinking about that. He said he had an explanation. Yeah. He had a reason.
And as I said, he did technically
this is what we want.
He also did do that take before they won this last PGL. So I'm setting him up there for that one. Like, he couldn't know like they would win in the meantime. Yes. Right.
This is what we want. To all the people that are watching,
that was a good
this
take.
Is exactly what we want.
Yes, good take. Right,
respect
Maui,
for the guy.
You have a take?
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.